It is not meant to serve as a public apology. This video contains content that may not be suitable for the faint of heart, so make sure to read the following warnings in case you are sensitive to these kinds of topics. As during the situation, an individual unrelated to me made a post, calling for people to not forget my attitude towards Ruin, as I called it boring, and in turn referred to a project I was developing at the time as boring when it was released. This project being Five Nights at Freddy's Plus of the Fazbear Fanverse initiative. Seemingly in response to this post, this person was sent death threats and horrible videos of suicide and gore through their personal open DMs, from what was said to be fans of my content. Being a prick about it seems to be all that he's capable of, and his fans are worse than he is. Someone had joked that we should all comment FNAF Plus as boring, and phisnom's fans sent them death threats and gore compilations. Not reading into the situation far enough due to the overwhelming amount of comments at the time, I replied to the post with another one of my jokes. A joke that I have also repeated in the past when death threats were involved. Trying to take the gravity out of the situation and focusing the horrible comments on myself and not anyone else. I did not take the situation with the seriousness it should have been treated with, commenting on it with too much levity as I have tended to do when confronted with horrible situations that surround me. And still, I repeat, trying to direct this horrible behavior towards myself and away from the victim in question. It is clear to me now that I should have been immediately more serious and emphasized this when replying. But at the time, I had no context about what had happened or reason to believe that the claims made were true. As I had no direct involvement in the situation beforehand. Within 7 minutes of my response, a user replied with the following. Phil, how do you hear that someone was literally sent gore and death threats in your name because they're your fans, and you don't even seem to be bothered by it? I responded by liking this account's tweets and repeating the same attitude of the post, still with levity and a joking tone, but clarifying that I was the only one that should be sent this kind of content. Continuing to reply to me, the account stated, I don't know if you will say anything about this, you probably should, but whatever, your choice. I've just had to close my DMs on all my accounts for the night. Reading this, I had realized that the account I was replying to was the victim previously mentioned. I had wondered why they were using an alt account to reply to my post, and I went to actually investigate the claims that were made. As I had discovered, the person who I was talking about, who was sent these death threats, was a user I had previously blocked some time ago. I had blocked them and banned them from being able to interact on my Twitter account and YouTube channel comments in the past for their aggressive attitude and being underage. As upon learning this, I blocked this account as well to follow my own set rules, and the user proceeded to comment about this block. Fun fact, y'all, he blocked me after reading this, smiley face. Not wanting to fall further into what had been a very poorly handled situation, I decided to hold further comment until I saw how serious the situation really was. And how much effect it really had. The following hours, I observed the victim in question demanding an apology, bragging about the positive results of my reply by screenshotting an increase in their YouTube subscribers, commenting about being a blood and gore artist and how he had rewatched the video he was sent as he was curious about it, in his own words, clarifying multiple times that he wants to move on from the situation, only to continue posting about it and also calling for people like Dawko to speak hours later about it, thanking people for their support, re-enabling his DMs, and inviting people to his Discord server seemingly with no fear or thought about continuing harassment. And linking to his Patreon page for people interested in donating to him and his personal projects, although this was later taken back. I would show images of all these things, but the user in question has also demanded for his name or profile to not be shared around in videos about it. Even though he clearly seems to enjoy the attention that had originated from it, continuing to express multiple times how it benefited him. Any claims I make about this can be corroborated by people who also witnessed these same comments. I did not explain this so I could justify my own attitude or give fault in any way to the victim of harassment, as they are a minor and their actions can be explained due to obvious immaturity, unlike my actions. I only do this to explain why, after making my comments, I did not see it necessary to immediately address the situation further with any serious regard. Privately, I was also approached by concerned friends who wanted an explanation for my actions and wanted to hear what I would be doing to address them. One of them in particular was Direct Doggo, a fellow developer and very good friend of mine who I have always looked up to for moral guidance. He flatly stated his disapproval of my attitude and told me he had made a public post siding with the people demanding I take responsibility. If there's evidence that some of your fans are sending people gore, you should have the cop on to condemn it instead of joking about it. Being cheeky online is one thing, but you can't ignore behavior like this from your own fan base when it comes to light. Take responsibility. He also expressed to me how this would affect the people around myself. Jokes aside, sending people gore and death threats is completely inexcusable behavior, and I obviously don't support this at all. I don't consider anyone that would do this to be a fan of me, so let me know who they are, and I will block them and ban them from my community.